What's up, Kings? Welcome back to the channel. The channel where I constantly review shoebox compressors. I don't even know how many I've reviewed at this point. It's got to be a lot.
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
I don't know if it's that high, but it's a lot. And several of the ToAuto compressors I've reviewed in the past, including their A1X, their A2, their A3, and today I've got the A5. I don't know, they might have skipped A4, I'm not sure, but they sent over the A5. So today we're gonna unbox this baby, use it, and give it a review. In the past, I've always found ToAuto compressors to be very reliable, easy to work on if they need maintenance, and usually stood the test of time. I gave my A3 to a subscriber. Tim, hope you're enjoying that A3. I kind of miss it, but today we're gonna get into the A5, and I'm actually gonna give this to a subscriber as well. No, it's not gonna be any of you. I've already got the guy picked out. So Ed, this one's coming to you after we get done reviewing it here today. But anyway, let's open this bad boy up. And before I even get into this channel is non-monetized, which is why you sat through 0 commercials. So I don't make any ad revenue or anything from YouTube, but what I do make some revenue off of is my Amazon links. So thank you guys if you're using my links. Even if you don't buy the compressor or whatever I'm linking, and you simply just click in via that link and then do your Amazon shopping via clicking in by that link, I still get some credit. So thank you guys if you're doing that. Anyway, let's open this bad boy up. So she is a freshie. Haven't even seen this at all yet. It's the first time seeing the light of day. So let's see what it comes with. So this is an external power source compressor. The power source is not inside the shoebox compressor itself, but this one has kind of a nice little power module here. I have not seen that before, but the power supply unit looks pretty similar to the other ones I've seen. Now we've got a bag that has your jumper style cables. These are in case you want to run it off of your car battery, which is a cool feature that these have. Most shoeboxes have that nowadays. So you got that. We've got a power cord. We're going to need that here in a moment. You've got your fill whip here, and you've got all of the replacement filters for the tiny inline filter. Before I run this, I'm going to go in and grab an actual external filter, which is what you should always use. Never just use this. You definitely need a moisture filter of some kind. Even the small ones are acceptable for on-gun fills. You wouldn't want to fill anything bigger than a gun tank with it. You wouldn't want to fill a big bottle with those smaller filters, but for guns and not super frequent filling, they work pretty good to keep the moisture out. So in this bag, we've got some additional seals, some burst discs. You've got a test plug in there, which we're going to use when we get this thing out. You've got a manual. Always read your manual, guys. It's going to help you not damage the compressor and then stupidly return it. And then the price is going to go up if a lot of people do that for everybody else. So don't ruin it for everybody else. Read your manual, know what you're doing. And this one's pretty nice. Nice color manual. So I'm sure it's a good read. No excuse not to check that out. All right. So then the compressor itself. And this baby is small. Wow. Very small. Probably the smallest one that I've seen so far. So nice. It's got the little quality control checklist tag on it. And we see here, it's just got a 1 button. I don't think there's a separate fan button on this one. There's your input, your power input right there. You've got your bleeder screw here, burst disc in the middle, and then your fill nipple output. All right, looks like that's it. Nothing on the back except for some fan vents. This one does have the internal fan. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and test this thing out. Let's kick it into first person view mode. Okay, so we've got the power cable that's going to the unit. I was looking in that bag a second ago. I didn't realize one comes right out of the unit and plugs into there. So that's nice. And then we've got the 120 cord. It's just a PC style cable that comes out of there. We'll switch that off for now. I'll go ahead and fumble around with one hand trying to plug this in. All right, and if I click this, I assume a fan should go on. Okay, I was right. But just so that doesn't make so much noise, I'm going to turn it off so I can explain this. So we've got the test plug in there. To use this thing, we're going to turn the bleed valve clockwise to close it. And I've basically just got my fill whip connected right there. And if you ever do blow a burst disc, you just take this out and those little copper discs that are in the parts bag go in there. You'll immediately see if you've blown one because the other one will have a big hole in it. But okay, so let's turn this on. Looks like the fan automatically goes on. Now this is a non-auto stop compressor, okay? Which means you have to watch it, all right? So don't walk away while you're filling your gun. Watch your gauge and make sure that you're not overfilling anything. Let's go ahead and give it a test run with the test plug on there. Ooh, stealthy quiet. All right, pressure is building up pretty quick there. Very nice. We're just going to run it up to 300 bar and make sure it's good to go. I'm going to have my finger right over the off button. Okay, no problem. Right up to 300 bar. And then what you're going to want to do is vent it. Okay, so in the event that you are filling your gun and you get the temp gauge too hot, I would say you don't want to run it anywhere over like 70 Celsius. I think the manual will probably say it a little bit higher, but I typically don't want to run them over 70 Celsius. And when you do give the compressor a break, you're just going to want to leave this on like that. And that way the fan will run and cool the compressor after it's been run for a while. Okay. But note this. Always make sure you vent that pressure before you begin pumping again, because if you give it a break and you don't vent that pressure and then try to start it up against pressure, you will break your compressor. So don't do that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I've got my competition gun here. We're right at 150 bar. I've done a lot of these videos before where we use these shoe boxes to fill the 300cc 250 bar tank on that Panthera up, and typically it takes at the very low range about 3 minutes, usually a little over. And then at the higher range, it can take up to 6 minutes. So let's see what the little ToAuto A5, how long it'll take to fill that bad boy up. Any guesses? I'm thinking, let's go 4 minutes. Let's see if that'll do it. That's coming up next. We're going to keep you in first person view so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. Now you'll see I've added that blue moisture filter. I'll drop a link in the comments and description for that. You're going to need that. 100%. Do not operate this on your gun without at least that size of a filter. I'll drop a couple options in the description and comments. And honestly, the mid-size one that's about 25 or 30 bucks is probably what you want to go with, because it does have a molecular sieve or some sort of desiccant in there. This one just has little filter wafers, but it still gets some moisture out. So I've got it connected to my Panthera there. We're at 150 bar on the bottom gauge, which is my bottle gauge. And we're going to see how long this bad boy takes. So we'll turn on the power unit, make sure the bleeder's closed, and get that timer started. And I'm thinking 4 minutes. Let's see if it can do better than that. So I won't make you sit here and watch this whole thing as it pumps up, but I'll give you a couple little interim blips here to see how the progress is. All right, 2 minutes in, and we are almost at 200 bar, about 190 bar. So that's pretty good. I'm thinking my estimate of around 4 minutes might be pretty accurate. Maybe 4.5, which is pretty good. So let me check back with you here in a second, and we'll get you another progress report. And man, that thing is pretty quiet. And the fan feels reasonably powerful too, so not bad. All right, we're at 4 minutes and rated about 230-ish bar. So I was pretty close in my estimate. It's filling pretty quickly. Not bad for such a tiny, tiny, minuscule unit.
That's what she said.
So let me check back in with you once it's fully filled. 4 minutes, 23 seconds, and we're almost there. You know what, let's stay until, okay, so 4.5, almost there. I'll stop it right at the time when it actually fills here. All right, and 5 minutes, and we've got our 250 bar fill. So we'll turn the power to the compressor off. We can vent it. Very nice. And this is where you're just going to want to leave this on and just let that baby cool down for a minute. So, all right, I was off in my estimate by 1 minute, but 5 minutes to fill a 300cc bottle from 150 bar to 250 is not bad. I've seen some of these shoebox compressors take like 6-7 minutes sometimes to do it, so not bad. And look, the temperature only got up to about 40 degrees. The manual says don't run it once it gets to 80 degrees, let it cool down. I usually go 10 degrees below that, so I said 70, I think, earlier in this video. But there you have it, 150 bar to 250 bar, 5 minutes, super small form factor, and we know that the ToAuto compressors have good components, nice pistons. You can beat on them a bit, and they last a while. Oh, and before I forget, what you should also do after you're filling is close your bleed valve and then run it with nothing attached, and this is going to purge out any condensation that formed. So if it spits out water, don't worry, that's normal, and I bet you it'll do it here. Okay, you see that? And then you can put your thumb over it and sort of purge the rest of the water out. If you don't do this, what will happen is you can get hydrolock on your cylinder. If water accumulates enough to be in that piston, you'll lock up your compressor. So always do that before you're done and you're going to put it away. All right, dude, so that's going to do it for the ToAuto A5 PCP compressor. I know I do a lot of compressor reviews on this channel. I just think they're neat.
I just think they're neat.
And also I've become kind of an expert on their care and maintenance and ripping them apart and doing all types of lubing, cleaning, repairing. And I've found that the ToAuto brand is pretty good compared to a lot of competitors, whereas they can go a long time without maintenance. Plus this one is a very low cost one. So if you're just getting into the hobby or something, that's going to be a good option for you. We know this brand is reliable, so have no fear there. And I will drop a link for that compressor in the comments and description, and also a couple options for filters, which definitely, again, you are going to need. So check that out. Any purchases that you guys make through those Amazon links helps keep the channel afloat. So I appreciate that. Hopefully you guys thought this little review and tutorial was helpful, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.